will be boom. Yes, live and alive once more in the tube with my great brother Midas. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Me, I'm doing great. Better than good, better than most, and sometimes even better than that. So it can be better.
Yes, it's nice to be here and hope the listener are tuning in and they will join the conversation when they are ready. And I hope it will be a positive vibes with them and they can learn something from our reasoning today.
Exact. Now I just got a message from YouTube. That's probably one of the last hangout where I'm gonna do on YouTube using Google services, the Hangouts on there because it's terminated August 1st. It's written there in my order. They're warning me. So maybe we'll have other reasoning. I'll be posting other reasoning, but me and Midas will do it with Skype live, but recorded, and then I'll post it on YouTube. But it's not
Yeah.
it's not the end of the Tru-Mon show. You can shut it down. So.
So that tell you the reason why?
The reason why they do this, I don't
Yeah.
know. It says Hangouts on Air is going away August 1st. Google has been terminating a lot of their services, and I think Google Hangout on Air is just another one that they want to put an end to for some kind of maybe business reason or something. I don't know. Maybe it's not profitable enough, and the who knows. I'm not in Google, so but I know it will be terminated.
Okay.
So, but it's okay. We will find another way to maybe broadcast live. Maybe there is other ways. I'll look for it, and if not, we will be using another service. There's other things we can use. It just won't be what we're used to here with the Google Hangout. But
Yes.
anyway, so today we're together again to look at my book that I wrote, the 33 Keys to Unlock Our Full Essence. It's the I think life should have some goals and major goals, and it's not just to like do secondary activities or stuff. It's mostly to come alive, very much alive, so we can do the work we came to do here and take responsibility for our life and everything, and take responsibility for your breath, like you're breathing. So it's important to be a driven person, and that's what we're looking at. It's key number 13. It's the 10 drives to make us feel more alive, because we are alive, but we can surely feel more alive, each and every one of us, each and every day. I think it's just we should be like little flower that open up and be ready to receive the good vibes. Yeah. So the drive for change, we were almost done. The only thing that we haven't looked at is the Sparker tree, and it's make positive choices. As you boldly move forward in life, you must make sure you're diligent with your choices. You make positive choice, because that's one uh, responsibility that we have, is the choice we make in life. They can either create great challenges or no challenge at all, or it will put you in shit, your choices you make, or it can uplift you. Like the choice we make are very important. What do you think about that, Rasmidas?
Well, choices is important because everything we do is by choice. Even some people don't want to take responsibility, like if someone or somebody forced it on them. Is our choice, and it is important that we look into things first, observe things, and balance things, and our conscience, because our conscience is the scale within us. So we have to balance things inside the scale within us, and then whatever choice you make, then you have to live by it, because each man word is his own burden, and each man works is his own burden or burden. So choice is important in this area.
But
We cannot force other people to make. Sometimes the choices that we make and true other people don't agree with us, or the choice other people make and we might not agree, we cannot come to those conclusions because everyone's choice couldn't be the same. So we have to respect other people for their choice that they make because it's their determination.
often I find it's not the so much the choices that we have in life in front of us that are not there or not present or not accessible. We can all access change, and the choice that we make in life is just the fear, I think, sometimes to decide. Like you have to make a choice. Like I know some beings that can't even decide what they're going to eat for lunch. Like that's part of a choice. So practicing choosing things, choosing positive occurrences in your life is very important also to practice it.
Well, as they say, you have to practice what you preach and be an example to those you teach. It's not everyone we can teach, but as I said, we have to let our words manifest into works so that other people can see that your word is meaningful and it have the character to shine your light to let people see who you really is. Because as they say that promises is a comfort to a fool. So you cannot always making promises. You have to live up to the works and live up to the best of your ability.
Yeah, to follow through also. If you make a choice, make sure you follow through. You don't give up, or yeah, to be driven towards those positive change and choices. Very important. Yeah.
Yes, because people can always count on you. If you live up to your words, people can always count on you. I don't want to use the word trust because who can you trust? But
I was gonna tell you that's a big word.
yeah, I
Yeah.
I can get into it, but trust.
Yeah.
So I just say, well then, let your works be seen.
I like the word trust, but the one with an H, like when you have trust, when you have drive, but the trust, TRUST, it's another T rust. You have the rust in there, and the rust is like when you're rusted. And so, trust, I would be careful because who can you trust after all? I
Yeah,
think you can trust yourself pretty much, and that's what you should
but
count on
sometimes you cannot trust yourself either
being
because
yourself.
sometimes you come to a decision and you break your own rules or decision that you make because you get to find out at the time or understand that it don't work out because many times we do things and expect it to work out certain way and it doesn't work out that way. You know?
We are our own worst enemies in that way. That's why trusting ourselves sometimes can be dangerous.
Yes, because if you continue to trust yourself at all time, you will trust in the negative way most of the time.
I I prefer have trust in like the quintessence, the ether, the God or whatever you can call it, the Jah or the divine or the highest presence here. Like that's what I trust. But yeah,
Trust in what you can see. Trust in what you can see. I
yeah.
can trust the sun because I know that every day the sun is going to rise. I can trust the moon. I can trust the ocean. I can trust the stars. I can trust the breath of wind that we take in, and all the resources that make up the universe. But otherwise, I don't get into the trust things, because I understand that that word in English is not really a positive word to me. Because look how much things that happening in your story. A politician say, trust me, I'm going to solve this problem. Religious leaders say, trust me because I know best. And it never works out. It is like telling a story. It's make believe.
Yeah.
And plenty people is not going to agree with me, but sometimes you cannot, you have to trust reality, you have to trust the truth.
And that's like you say, I should trust more my cucumber growing now that I trust they will give me cucumber than any beings on earth or any animals or even animals. Dogs sometimes can turn on you, or so you who can you really trust? That's it.
The
Because
trees, the
huh?
trees is good to trust
Yeah, the trees.
because what we breed out, that's what the trees take in and clean it up and recycle it back to us.
Yeah. Like I say, I'll trust more. But it's a good thing you're saying here. Who can you trust? Because I was always like more inclined to trust myself, but even myself, because I need to save. I need to be saved. But from what? From who? From me? I want to save myself from myself.
How
That's
many
what I.
mistake? How many mistake you're making since living?
Yeah.
And at the beginning, you're sure that that's what it's going to be. And then when the fulfillment of it work out, you find out, say, well, I made a mistake. That is not what I meant to do, but it happened this way. So I have to start all over again or put it aside and move forward with a new beginning.
Yeah. Always. Yeah, and that's bringing us to the next one, the drive for challenge. Very, very optimal to have fulfilling challenges in our life, like things that makes us feel alive, that brings us to the next level of greatness, if I can say. What I say here, challenge, a pathway to triumph in life. Challenges are void of equality. Some make us feel alive, full of energy, present, plus fulfilled. Other challenges may be overwhelming. Affirming the difference between both as you stand for bigger, bolder goals is optimum for your serenity, aligning with truths towards triumph. It helps to grasp the kind of challenges that bring complete inner joy plus fulfillment in life. So yeah, challenges can bring joy, can bring a bit of uncomfortability, but I think it's okay at the beginning to be uncomfortable with something you've never tried. But once you go into it, and the more you do it, like for you at the beginning, it must have been a great challenge to try into the music the reggae music in that time in Jamaica, especially when you were younger. There was no internet, so you had to really go into studio and have know some other people that were doing, like it's not like today. Today you can, if you have a bit of knowledge of know how to do it, you can do it on your computer very easily. But back then it wasn't. So it must have been a great challenge also in your early days to keep doing music and recording and all that stuff. So maybe you can share a bit on it, the challenges.
Every day you live is a challenge.
Okay.
Every day that you survive is a challenge because there's so many things in this world that we have to depend on each other because in the world that we live in is different communities and communities and ideals that we have to work with each other to make it work. But you have to challenge your own inner self to achieve the goals that is more important to us or to you. Now, that's why it is not good to force your ideas and people. You like that. That's why I like to reason and said, if you discover something that suits your ideas, then it's happiness for I, because you cannot force a person to do things that they don't see is positive in their sight, or something that make them feel happy, or to concentrate on something new, because everything starts with us. But life journey is a challenge, you know, and everything exists in life. It's a challenge, whether it's animal, whether it's a bird, whether it's the ants, insect, or whatsoever may be. Is a challenge, because each one of us have to be challenging ourselves how to survive in a hostile world that is created by mankind, in which some, even the rich man, is a challenge for him also how to continue to be rich. The political world is a challenge from them, for them, how to consider how to manipulate the people so that they might have power. The religious leaders have their own challenge too, with their lies that they're telling to deceive mankind. So, and then we have to have this challenge within ourselves to choose what will be proper for us, or for you, or for I, you know? And that's why will, free will is a very important thing in people's life, because that is part of challenging yourself. Free will. When you possess the free will to make decisions about the challenge that you're processing, if what you're doing will be beneficial to you as a person, and what is the result, or what the result will be. So it's up to us what the result will be, and whether it's going to be positive or negative, because everything is a trial. Most things in life we do is a trial. We're trying things. We are inventing on things. Some work out and some don't work out, and you have to start a new chapter.
Also, I'm very coherent with the fact that for most of us, it's a challenge, like you said, just to survive each and every day, to find bread to eat and stuff. So before you start putting the scope on your ability, on your performance, on your effort, and all this, on your strengths and all that, and then you go and challenge yourself to bring your life to another level. There's the challenge of surviving this world, this Babylon world, with all the money stuff, and yeah, for some it's just, life is just challenging enough to just survive, that they do not see any other challenge sometimes, because exactly, we're in the challenging to survive.
Yes, because the greatest challenge we have in the system is to survive, because we live in a system, in a common word, is dog eat dog. People are so gluttonous to have more than the other. We don't have a world in which equality and justice is the order of the day. It's just equality for just us. That's where they call justice. To I mean just us, because I and I is not getting no justice. We are not getting our just cause. It's just for them.
No, I agree with you. No, so that's it. So before you go and challenge your willpower and stuff like that, there's certain things you have to probably overcome, or realize that it will always be there, like the challenge to survive. I have it too, but do I stop myself saying, oh, I'm challenged to survive today to find bread, and then put my whole life on the hold because Babylon is challenging my state of living or whatever it is? Like, we have to rise above that also. That's what I meant. We have to rise above the negative things of this world if we want to ever feel more present, more alive, more coherent beings. Yeah.
Well, well, we have to rise against things that is forced upon us, whether external or internal. And so we have to coordinate our intelligence and our knowledge and our wisdom and put it to works, because that is the only way we can uplift ourselves from the mental situation and the physical situation that we are in, because we are bound on dependency. And when you are bound by dependency, is nothing beat a trial but a failure. So when we create our ideals and put it to works, is either you succeed or you don't succeed. Is either you, and most time 99% of the time you fail is one work. And then you have to put that 1% to work in the best way you can, in all the ways you can, as long as you can.
It's like you say, sometimes we have like little breaks, but it's mostly always little, and we can repair it fast and just be bold again to face what we have to face in life. We don't have to like, it's like a big house that you build at one point. Your house is you, and you have to build it. Yeah. So yeah. So and step towards joint project. That's another of my sparker here. Collective projects requires us to improve our interacting vibe with other persons. I think it's important to take this on a collective level also. When you some challenges, like we have a big one together as humanity, is to freaking wake up. That's a big challenge. Wake up. Yeah, so that's one of our challenge on the collective, and these are effort to improve your listening, empathy, forgiving attitude, acceptance, camaraderie, guidance, teamwork, sharing, networking, plus your loving vibe, just to name a few. So yeah, it makes you yeah, interacting with others is very, very good. For sure.
Unity is important. And and the greatest challenge we have today is unity, because mankind have been educated to be separated. And when you are separated that way, you do not see the next person as yourself, and you don't develop the respectability to honor that person in a just way, because each culture, the educational system is set up in a mental way that your one is better than John one is better than your one. And so it is very difficult to interact or to meet people that have the set goals as ourselves, then, in which we are on the said lifeline, we are on the said branch from the tree of life, and we want everything to work in a proper way, working together to make things happen.
That makes me think collective challenges as a, if we just take the music for example, because we're both a lot into music. So a band, when you have a band, okay, and you have a singer that goes mostly around with sound system or alone or just with the DJ, and it's much, sometimes it's hard also to bring a band and to work on the same tune on the same level of frequency? Have you had hard times to find members of band that resonate on the same level? Because when you do music, I guess you want to vibe together.
It happened once in a blue moon, so you can
Okay.
understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
It is easier in the studio to choose certain musician to do recording, but it is very hard to find musician outside of that studio who is willing to sacrifice, because music is a thing that you have to sacrifice time, you have to cultivate creativity, you have to learn to deal with each one personality, because most musicians, especially in reggae, if reggae musicians unite with the ICEP of Rastafari, then speaking, things will be much better. But they are not dealing with the unification part of the culture of Rastafari. Because if I and I was doing that, we will be more positively working together. So music is very complicated. Not to say that the music itself is complicated, but the what I would say, it is very difficult to get people that is very serious, musicians that are very serious, to work and to sacrifice themselves to achieve a goal or to achieve a vision.
Because in music, there's no really instant gratification. You're gonna have to trim hard for a few years before you start reaping the some profit from your effort. Like, you're not gonna be a millionaire making reggae music the first 2-3 years you do that. So you're gonna have to put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and that's sometimes where some beings give up. It's because there's no instant gratification or no gratification at all for you. But you have the gratification from, you feel it inside, but I'm talking money and stuff. So you won't have. Often it's sacrifice. It's putting time and effort, and also there's the belief also that can cause some beings to not really work great collectively. Like they have contradicting beliefs and believe that, so it comes and create conflicts. But if you put the beliefs aside and everything, should be able to work together to achieve something. If we are willing to sacrifice and let go of instant gratification and get together, I think you can evolve a great deal from that.
Yes, that is true. But one of the main reasons is that most musicians do not have any spiritual consciousness.
Okay, I get it. Go deep.
You see what I'm saying? And when I'm saying spiritual consciousness, I mean reality of the truth.
Okay.
Because everything that we do in life, we have to work hard. It's not the same time that you put the water in the pot is going to boil up. And some musicians don't really understand that things is going to take time, or a singer, whatsoever it may be, because most of them come into the business with a make-believe mentality. Just because I hear John have a hit song, and within themselves, them believe, say, well, then it's easy to get a hit song. But is who survive time consuming? If you can survive time consuming, to put in enough work, because it's what you put in, that's what you get out. But at the beginning, when you're sowing the seed, you can't expect the seed to just start grow in 6 days and then you believe it's going to blossom and bear fruit. You have to nourish that seed. You have to water the seed. Some will survive and some will not survive. So music is a survival trend, is a survival works. And the longest liver and the longest decider and who is willing to sacrifice themselves will succeed. Everyone is not going to succeed on a set level, but if we work hard enough to stay in it and to have the experience, because remember, you have to go through a lot of experience. You have to go through a lot of exploitation. It's like you have to what they say, you have to they have a saying in music that you have to dig you have to dig the blues. I don't remember how it goes. But in other words, you have to learn to dance before you can go into public.
Yeah, and that's another thing. People should also, singers and musicians should also learn to speak before they sing. But we sing. Even when we're young, we start singing before we learn how to talk, the words and everything, and the words you use. And then you go on and repeat just the programming you have received. Programmer, the programmer, programming, programmer. You're pro at grammar. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're pro at grammar. The ones you've been taught. But why don't you find your own words, your own consciousness, like you say? You like the word consciousness. I have no really problem with it. To me, consciousness, yeah, it's either alive, awake awareness, something like that. Yeah, but it's something you
If
vibe
you
inside.
if you check all the great groups around the world, and if you check all the great singers from the last, say, 60 years of what we can come together, if you don't have a message, if you don't have some spiritual consciousness, if you don't have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of yourself, of the because it's words, of the words that you're going to put to music. In other words, don't deal with yourself. When you're dealing with music, you're not dealing with yourself because the music is inside of you already. You have to deal with how can I put out this type of music so that it be it benefit beneficiary to other people that listening to that music and accept the message in that music or accept the rhythm or the melody, because three things people is going to deal with: the rhythm, the melody, and the message. And if you check into it, is few writers or artists out of millions have conquered that 4 steps or that 3 steps to write the type of music and to do the type of lyrics that coordinate with people's psyche, that register with people's psyche, that people can say, I really understand what this artist is trying to reach across because I am going through this said experience.
True. But some end up on stage, and honestly, sometimes I just shut it off because it's verbal diarrhea. It's literally verbal diarrhea coming out their mouth. So I prefer switch to something more. And when they like, I don't know, you want to hear the message, so you know, don't talk so fast when you do music. Sometimes they go very fast, like the ragamuffin. They speak very fast. Yeah,
Well, it's a marketplace
yeah.
and there is food for every customer. So the customer who like it that way, they're going to buy it. But there's one thing in life I want to tell you, and I want to share with the listeners today. A artist that is really true to his spiritual self and is honest with the message that he's sending out. He have to work triple time very hard to be heard. Because listen, there is so much negative things that is in the marketplace that enticing people's psyche so much that they gravitate to negativity. And the positive artists have to work very hard, because when you hear a positive artist really reach the scene, you have to check out his record and say, oh, this people was around 20, 30, 40 years ago. Oh, I didn't hear about him. Because he decided, I am not going to play the game that other people play to sell my soul for materialism. Because any artist that do that is short-lived. But if you want your music to last forever, take time and put wood under that pot in that fire and let it take time simmer down. But whenever the time comes that you open that pot, people will smell the essence of the cooking of your music, and that will be the right spiritual food that will touch their psyche and their mentality, that people can say, this menu here, I can't give it up. No, I can't give it up. What is it? What is the seasoning you have in there? Or what is the credential that you have there? Yes. So you see with time is on my side, because I am not controlled by record companies to tell me what to do, and every 6 months I must put out an album, or every 3 months I must have a single out there, because I am working with the essence of time.
No, true. And that's what I find. Sometimes it's just too much content, and the content becomes diluted. Like it lose a bit of the essence and the body of the music that you're making, because you just want to make music. And, you know, yeah, that's it.
I am
That's
not
why,
in the competition.
yeah,
And competition, that is competition. Babylon competition that dilute the music consciousness that it should have, because each one have to, they put you against one another to compete. I am not saying that competition is not good in some aspect of life, but with Ferrari, I am not running no competition with no one. I'm not allowing myself to be controlled by record companies and piracy to be diluting my music for the sake of commercial competition.
exact, because it's always to profit the commercial use of music. It's never to promote the super conscious vibe. There is a lot of band out there conscious and with great messages, and but you never hear about them. You know, you don't see them on the big stage, summer jam and all that stuff. It's always the same band, the same single artist showing up there. It's never really like, but that is a result also of the state of mind we have collectively. It's very
Sorry. Yeah.
the state of mind is very like it's we like we I don't know, when it's become too close to the truth, we have tendency to reject that stuff. So if I can say, I'm being polite here today. So yeah, so my next drive is the drive for creativity, which is very important to amplify our creativity. That's sparker number one. There's 3 sparker per drive. because you want to spark something. Like you don't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna be creative." No, you gotta spark that stuff. So I think when we're in touch with our quintessence breath, you breathe stuff in the air. It's not empty the air. There's like a lot of stuff that you can be inspired by when you breathe. So frequently, then emphasize frequently, a person becomes acquainted with a larger vital presence, opting to let our own true being shine through, could inspire us to light up the world with our own unique vibing sign. That's powerful. I dig deep within myself to find those words. But yeah, I think it's a lot about amplifying creativity, but I never thought I could be creative or create something in my life. Like, never see myself really as a creative person until I started to look at different things that I could do to be creative, like just that Tru-Mon show, the book. Like at one point, you start to really amplify that creativity. Was it the same for you? Like start slow and then you realize that you have that power within you, and then you just go with abandon. At one point, you create. But I don't want to. You apply creativity. I prefer the word creativity than create. The hate, I want to let go of the hate, and it's in the words. So you apply creativity to your being, and you realize that that's what you're here for. That's why you breathe.
Yes.
So yeah. So amplifying our creativity. What do you think about that?
Um, if we are not creating, we are wasting time. Because we are all creative creatures living on the planet Earth. Our spiritual being living on the planet Earth. Sorry to use the word creatures. We are spiritual being. And the most important part, to be creative, you have to be in tune with the cosmos. You have to in tune with the zodiac. You have to in tune with the spiritual ingredients of the cosmic world to meditate within yourself, because creativity is so important to us as human beings, because that is the works that you're going to leave are left behind when you slide out of this flesh. You understand? Because you live all these years and millions of hours on the planet Earth, and when you slide out of this flesh, there is no memory of your works. So is the creation of your works, is the creation of your works or our works is going to count? What is your works? A, a younger generation can look into history and say, oh, at such and such a time, Tru-Mon really they have a creative program, and it was so creative and original that the people them that control the system told him that your program is so important in educating people that we don't want you back on the air again. We are limiting you, because you know why? Because when you are doing it live, it have more information, more sting, more juice, more than people is going to go on the internet and then buck up on something and say, make I take a listen. They know what they are doing. You understand? So your creativity is so important that Babylon is going to find every way to block your creativity, because because your creativity is so educated, So educationize the people psyche because you are helping people. Sorry, you are helping other people to look in their self, to look in, to look if them manufacture the said process of energy to let them or help them to be a better person or to be the best person they can. But as I said from the beginning, if you waste your time on the planet Earth and you're not creative, you're wasting your time.
I think the same too. I think I've been saying it for a while. I've wasted my time. I've wasted my precious time on Earth doing secondary activities and nonsense activities. Today, it's not that I don't indulge at all in nonsense activities. I still have some stuff sometime that I know I have to work on, but I know I have to do something in my living days. I have to leave something behind, and I want to leave something behind. It's not because I have to, it's because I want to. Like, I really have the deep desire to, to, to be creative and to share it. And not because I want to, uh, it's not about me. I never said it was about me here. It's not. It's about us. It's about us waking up and being more present. It's about us being more present and more attentive. Not do not go out there and seek attention. Give attention to other beings. Give attention to higher and divine. Give attention. But we live in a world that we want to have all the attention for on ourselves. Like, that's why Facebook and all these nonsense social media stuff, it's all because you want attention. You don't give attention to life. You're not attentive to life. So you want to attract all the attention for yourself. So, yeah. What do you think about being attentive, to be creative?
Well, the truth about it, if if you're sitting at night and you don't lift up your head and look above, you will never see the star or the moon. Because most of the greatest thing that we must pay attention to is above. And if you can translate the energy from above to make it be a part of yourself, then you will find out that you will be very creative. Because when you look above, you are in communication with the creative part of the cosmos. You are in communication with the creative part of the zodiac. And then you can manifest within yourself and said, I want to be part of creation because creation is part of I. And if I um, let the light shine in I, so I can make that light shine outside of I, other people will see your good works. But what happened, most people in the world is caught up in economical slavery. And what economical slavery or religious slavery have done to mankind is put a darkness over your creative part within your psyche. So so the only time you don't have any time to really get into your inner self to think of being self-reliant, because when you're self-reliant, you have to be creative. But when you are dependable, you cannot be creative. So when your mind is occupied with the pollution of Babylon, then you are not being creative. Because remember, the system that rule over us, whether it's multinational corporation or whatsoever it may be, they have people within their educational system who are educated to be creative. And the massive is the Jones. It's like the kingdom of the bees. You know, the Jones of the bee outside there each and every day dealing with plants. Although them have to be creative to find out which plant to deal with, so that they can bring back to the kingdom of the bees. It's just like the ants also. You have the drone ants, they call the workers. They have to go out and find food to come and support the kingdom there. So that's how people mind. If you look on the insect, we will discover and find out, oh, we are not creative. We are not creative. We are not working. We are not using our brain. We are not learning to be independent. We are learning to accept what they have taught us. And what they have taught us is to supply them with energy, our energy, so that they can survive at all times, to have mind control over us, and we be religious and economical slave.
Exact. True fact. Now to be more creative, because that's the essence of life, is to be creative. That's why you go to the store, buy your stuff, because other people have been creative. Maybe not you. You just fill your cart and then the supermarket, and you go around and fill your basket. But all this stuff you put in there, it's come from some beings that have been creative. Okay, maybe not all aligned with the quintessence vibe, the nature, like you call it normally in the nature. I just don't like the word nature. It sounds like torture. So, but to start being more creative, I think a good way is me. It's been to observe, to be a more of an observant and more attentive. Like if you don't know, like if you're listening to that and you want to be creative more in your life, and something that truly matters for the profit of us all, I think it's good to start observing your surrounding, observing your behavior. Observe, like shut your mouth and observe. What do you think, Midas?
That is true. When you can observe, when you can look around the whole creation of the universe, because that's what everything is for. The universe is a school, and you can educate yourself from the universe. But when you become mentally lazy, because you were taught to be mentally lazy, you were taught to be not creative. You was talking about the supermarket. Now, if people learn to be creative and prepare their food at home, to be self-sufficient, then you don't have to support the multinational supermarkets who you give the authority to manipulate the food and to give you polluted food, so that you're not thinking straight, because you become dependable on the supermarkets to prepare, or the restaurant to prepare food for you. Or people could be more creative by making their own clothes. But they are trained that way. Don't depend on yourself. Don't be creative. Depend on us, because we know the best for you. And when you put yourself into that situation, then you are down in the barrel, you are in the swamp, struggling to survive, struggling to stay alive. And when you are struggling to survive and to stay alive, someone, the swamp of Babylon is controlling us.
Yeah, me, I call the swamp the network of shared madness. That's a swamp.
Yes, madness become gladness.
Exact. That's good. So no, we have to be more creative for sure, and like it would be great to align with what's out there, the trees and the quintessence vibe. So the drive for a cooperative attitude is the next one. A cooperative attitude, giving of self. Okay, self-giving implies that we find the strength that empowers us to surmount our self-obsessed, insane, foolish ego. I dig deep for that one. In order to empower others. So, yeah, our self obsessed, insane, foolish ego. That's really what we are at, but not at the beginning because the original man is born of love, right?
Yes, yes, yes. The
So,
original man is a spiritual being.
yeah, it's a spiritual being born of love, of light, of all the good things. Not like hate and stuff is stuff that's been taught to me, first of all, in the words. Look in the English language. How many words contain the word hate, whether it's HATE or ATE or appreciate or all these words, they're all with hate. So it's not to you, the hate. Like originally, me, I'm born of love. Yeah, yeah, I know it. But they have desensitized and corrupt my heart. So now that I'm doing the work to reverse that stuff, to install a new blueprint and to let go of that self-obsessed, insane, foolish ego. Exactly. The quintessence truth of giving requires one should go beyond self-interest, fears, or anger. Like you have to go over for sure the fears. We all have fears, insecurities, and stuff. But if you let that limit you in life, you'll never do anything. I don't come here without, but I have no fear really. Maybe insecurities, but I think it's more like you build that up, that sense of security and stuff. It's within you. It's the maybe the confidence, if you want to call it this way, or another word. But yeah, the self strength, the mental toughness and stuff. So yeah, so oppressing others based on one lacks of being secure. Like often, if you oppress others, if because you have a lack yourself of security, because if you feel secure within your being, you don't go oppress other people. You don't you don't piss on people. You don't get pissed off at people. No, you calm yourself down, and that's it. You start observing your own behavior patterns, and you realize that yeah, you have things to change also on your side. So you don't want to be judging others. So yeah, so the cooperative attitude, the giving of self, I think is one of the major thing to get unstuck. What do you think?
Well, giving of self is when we talk about one love is recognizing the I am that I am in the man and the I am that I am in I. And is working and sharing and caring for each other with love and understanding. Because living in a world like this, the only way we can, because ego can go both ways. You can have positive egos and you can have negative ego. But 70% of the time, we allow our negative ego to overcome our positive ego because the word ego means a drive. It's not direct, 'cause everything is negative about it. The drive inside of a person to make things happen. And so we as mankind, we have to start all over again and learn how to coordinate with each other. And that starts with respect and accept each other in so many ways. How we are going to come together, to work together, to listen to each side of each other, because John have one side and Mary have a next side. We're born into a world where they educate John to dominate the side of Mary. And we are not listening to the feminine side of mankind, which is the woman. So first, we have to learn to unite the male and female together to have a balance, to let that positivity work between male and female. Because we're talking about unity. The first unity is to unite male and female together. That's how we can overcome the ego. That's how we can overcome the strife. That's how we can have a better understanding of each other. But religion tear it apart. Plenty people that is listening don't understand what I'm saying, but if you go to the reality, is religion is doing it because people are born into a system which we call modern Babylon today or modern Rome, and lots of people is going to get offended. But these places is not spiritual. Is structured about economical and political features which control mankind into this swamp, and each one of us is struggling. So not until we unite with the female part of us, because it is written, let us recreate ourselves. I am not going to talk and talk about let us make man. Who is saying that? Those are where people written and want to manipulate you. We must unite between male and female because each side of us is important to the other. And that is what causing the great division of ego. Because John, the male ego, is dominating Mary ego, which probably have a more positive part within the unification of us as mankind. So we have got started to learn to respect the female part of us, to conquer the negative ego. In my opinion, I think.
No, it's great, and that's why also the woman has been oppressed a lot in our society over the centuries, exactly to divide us the more possible from our true essence, and I think this is part of their scheme for sure. And here I have something else for you, showing signs of inner strength, because we were talking about the inner. When once you have that inner strength, your outer strength, which is your ego, start to vanish a little bit. It's not so important. It's the inner strength that becomes priority for you. It is for me. And plus self-respect could help you unlock, then ignite the guidance to gain that inner might. Like we all want to feel mighty over our ego. Me, I want to feel mighty over my ego. Not that's what I have to save is me from myself, from my foolish, insane, barbaric ego. I even been eating blood, sucking on bones and stuff for a long time in my life. So that's part of the sin stuff, like to eat blood and stuff. So yeah, so I'm trying now to gain my inner might, but I think it has a lot to do with inner strength and stuff, and also through self-giving. We were talking about self-giving. I'm giving you something else to reflect on. One gives without incentive or restraint. Okay, let go of assuming there is a reward for every action. Let go of doubt to give within an instant of occurrence. That's very important also, I think, in true self-giving, to give without incentive or restraint. Just give. Give.
When I was growing up, because I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandmother used to sing a song, says, Do not selfish in your doing, pass it on. You know, for the things that you live for if you live for yourself, you live in vain. But if you live for others, you will live again. Do not selfish in your doing, pass it on. So I learned a lot from that little song from I was a child. Is that whatever you are doing in this world or in this time or in this liberty that we are in, do not think about yourself alone. Because if you think of yourself, you are living in vain. But if you live for others, you will live again. Because the sympathy, the love, the caring that you share with people in need. You ever check this world yet? People is interested more than animal, more than the welfare of human beings. People go out of their self to go into the forest to want to take care of animals that is living in the forest that survive by themselves for millions of years and leave the need to help people that is really in need and they don't do it
That is
because
so
they
true.
are so selfish. Because here what happened, they do not have the spiritual consciousness to overcome the ego, because you have to have that spiritual consciousness to overcome the fleshy mentality that lies within us, because we were born pure and clean until we come into this big swamp and we, yes, and don't laugh, and then we
You make
adapt.
me laugh all the time you say that. The
Yes,
swamp.
we adapt the negative principle of the swamp till we become part of the swamp, and then we have to start all over again to rebuild ourselves to escape the swamp.
Uh, and I think we can all agree it's much easier to build yourself as a child than repair a broken man or woman. Like
Yes,
it's much easier to build up a child than it is to repair a broken man.
yes, because the saying say, how can you learn a old dog new tricks?
Exact. Uh,
You
we
know, you cannot learn a whole dog new tricks.
We have a few collaborators in the chat, and Michel is there. Karen Michel Fox. Bonjour, Karen. Bonjour, Bliss Bliss. And Karen was saying, and I want to hear you on that. She's saying, man is ego, woman is love. And it's a comment that I caught my attention. When I read it, I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. Man is ego and woman is love. But I want to hear you, Midas, on that.
She's perfectly right on that.
Oh,
Woman is the nature of love.
okay.
Man is the nature of ego and war. Because the world that we live in is created by men. I don't want to say man because man is a positive entity. Men. When you
Right.
become a man, that means to say you is more than one. You're full of negative and positive, and you let your negativity overcome your positivity. But a woman is full of so much love because she's nourishing. She's the mother earth. She's the one that taking care. Man ego is to control and rule and keep people in captivity. Because if you go around the world right now, in the Catholic Church, women don't have no reasoning there. The Pope don't want no woman in the hierarchy in the Catholic Church to make no suggestion, because as they have it, God make them to control over that, right? In the political system, It's hundreds of years. Men using them ego to keep down women from have a say because they do not want a balance. And this is the world we are living in today. So, Michelle, you are very right. And I agree with what you are saying right there.
Yeah, and she's saying also man is tough, distant love, and woman is close, nurturing love. And that's so true. Like that's why women take care of the babies and they nurture the babies. Where man, me, I don't know, me. I like babies, but it's never really been my big thing.
Well, the negative man, do not deal with love. It's control and power. It's control and power. That's why in marriage the system use it like is property, owner property, like in slavery. Like in slavery, if the slave owner named Mr. Johnson, everyone on the plantation named Mr. Johnson. In the so-called marriage that they have in Babylon, true is a commercial business. If a woman have her name, she have to change it to the surname of the man because he have to control over her as a property.
Hey, that's true here in Quebec. We were the women were even changing name, taking the name of the man.
Yes,
Wow.
because 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 the system still have woman as the male property.
And the male name goes to the child also.
Property.
Wow.
And I want to say this. In ancient Africa, the child has the mother's name.
Yeah.
In ancient Africa, you only have one name, the name that is given to you by the mother. But his religion is the Catholic religion and the Presbyterian. You hear it named the Presbyterian. It have to press you.
Because
They, they come up with the male domination through Christianity was created by the Catholic Church to have control over dominion over all. So what she's saying is real. What she's saying is real. And is only I and I that is man up. We recognize that the female is so important to us because you know what happened? To be a complete man is male and female. So when they write in the Bible say, God say, let us make man and he make the male first, those things is lie and illusion. The creator create complete man, male and female. But the system, the swamp, teach us to disrespect the female part of us. And put it this way, I am speaking the truth from myself here. I have to relearning myself, recreating myself, how to be respectful and how to teach and how to treat the female part of I to know that we are equal together.
and it's so true, that women are full of love. Like I remember when I was younger, when I got my first girlfriend or got it together with a girl, I didn't really know how to love or how to express my love if I had some. I don't know. I was always very programmed, but yeah, I always had the feeling that yes, woman can show you how to be loved and how to love, and like they have that instinctively in them. Like a woman is always very lovey, very close, very nurturing, where men sometimes were distant, like we're arrogant, we're So yeah, it's that part of us. I can see it so much clearly today because of you and Michelle. Yeah.
It's religion do it. Religion is the culprit that do it. We don't have
Wow.
no tenderness because everything that you write, hey, everything that you read in the Bible, God always talking to man. God not talk to woman. You
God talk to men, doesn't talk to women. That's true.
yes, all the while God a talk to man. All the important things that God deal with is through a man. He never come through a woman yet.
Wow.
It's only, listen, it's only one woman them put in the Bible that God say anything to, and is a woman named Mary, which is a fabrication and superstition. You know, them have to make it be a special woman. It's not all the women. So that's why you have equality amongst the sexes. Because listen, what religion have taught us is to have ego about sex. We see women as a sexual object. We don't see her as a equal part of us. And she have more activities and more to offer in life to make a society or a community an old community. Because when you have a community and you don't have the input of the female in that community, it cannot be a complete community.
And that's probably why we're starting to wake up and realize that women can bring a great deal of love and good vibes, especially like you see them more into police, army, government position. Before it wasn't like that. Here in Quebec, they had the right to vote in 1940. I think they gained the right to vote. That illusion, Babylon voting stuff. But still people some people believe in that stuff. Politics, it's to me it's like religion. It's just another
Yes,
nonsense.
religion is the culprit. Because listen, even if you have women as prime ministers or president or member of parliament, all the laws that was written before is written by men. Men of ego, men of control, men who control the plantation, men who murder millions of people to set up the so-called system. And then women have to fight in hard to even be a nurse, to even to be a nurse or a teacher. And look what happened. The system is not paying them with equality. Up to now, women is quarreling to get equal pay when they work with the male. Equal salary. You see what I'm going on? So although they give them the free will to vote, they are not getting the free will for equal salary, and they are doing the bulk of the work. The bulk of the work, because they pay the female doc, they pay the male doctor more than the female doctor, and the male nurse get more than the female nurse, and the male teacher get more than the female teacher, and the people that are doing the most important things in the world that we live in for our children, they use them, they disrespect them. Disrespect.
But that's why you see them in bikini and beaches and porn, the porno, all the stuff that to bring me. I always found that weird that women like to wear bikinis and stuff. Like to me, it's I don't know. They should cover themselves a little bit more. I like more a woman that is more covered than completely exposed, tits in the air and everything with bikini. And I don't know. It's not really my thing, but some guys like it. Maybe because they haven't overcome their animal instinct to jump on women. I don't know. But yeah, to me, it should be very much respected because I think in some way maybe they're superior in many ways to how we think, to how we behave, to how we interpret this world and see love and stuff. So that's why we want to repress naturally the woman in our society, especially in the past.
But
Still today, man.
but who control all those system? It's men control because it's men ego.
It's man ego.
Want to see a woman in bikini, So
Yeah.
it can get up on the way she look or the way she shape. And you have
Yeah.
beauty contests and who is the prettiest woman in the world, and all these people, women have to come and parade before him. So he can smoke him big cigar and drink him in whiskey and in wine and have a big laugh over it and glorify himself. And glorify himself.
And women should be careful with that also, because every time, like a woman having sex and a man having sex is not the same. The reaction, the chemicals inside, it's different. A woman having sex will have a great deal of emotion coming out of this, where man, it's more. That's why if you that's why women, when they have an orgasm, sometimes it can last a little while, and they're in their land
They are
of
in their they are in their divine
yeah,
transformation.
for a little while. Where a man, you have an orgasm and right away, bang, you can turn around. And if like, I think it's by design also, because we were designed to live in an environment that's pretty harsh and challenging. So if there's a predator coming after you, like, you cannot be in the in the pleasure for a long. So yeah, so I think women should be very careful where they put their energy, especially the sexual one.
That's why I don't recognize the word sex, because sex is is an animalistic word.
Okay.
It's animal out there deal with sex.
Okay.
Mankind should have divine love. You're in divinity. You're in the creative state. Whenever you're in the divinity, you're in a creative state, because that is how you recreate yourself. It's divine love. You're in divine with the creative process of the cosmos of creation. You know, you're in divine communication, or whatsoever it may be, is a divine. It's holy. It's holy. It's so precious. It's so clean. But you check, it is in the 50s, them bringing the word sex. When I have the beauty contest business coming, everything have to become sexy. It's to sell product. And women don't realize is men of Babylon using them to sell product. Everything on the TV is to look sexy. Them advertising a hotel that you should go in the Caribbean. You have to have ladies walk in bikini. I not see no man in a bikini.
That's the
But,
thing.
but the women have to be in bikini serving men, so that they can get their lust. Is lusting.
You
Sex
know,
is lusting.
you go on beaches and you see men with mostly men are mostly all the time more covered than women,
Yes.
like with long Bermuda and like loose thing. Like very
Yes.
few will wear like a stretch speedo.
Yes.
Like, I'm
You
not
see?
the speedo type myself too much, but some guys like that, but very few. Most wear like Bermudas and are like, why is that? And then you go and you look at the woman, and they're all like almost naked. Some
Yes.
are almost naked on the beach.
Yes, very disrespectful, because
Yeah,
is the institution of men create those lusts and sex and use women as a sexual object. So I am not telling no woman what to do, but all I can say today on this subject is that women, please go into yourself and recognize who you is and how precious you are, and do not let men, Babylon men, have you in the swamp, letting to allowing you to be how they want you to be.
yeah. That brings us directly to my next drive, and it's the drive for diligency. That's where it comes from. Being diligent. It's not
Yes.
being just like a leaf in the wind. You're diligent with your behavior, with the way you dress, with the And that's, to me, I took the word diligency over discipline, because I don't really like the word discipline. Like, I don't know that this refers to the underworld gods, the demons, and this and that. So this and that. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, so the drive for diligence, okay, and it's putting the scope on your power of diligence. The aim of life is to live. To live signifies to be coherent with occurrences, rejoicing affirmatively, rising in love in the present time with all sentient beings. And that's us. I said many times that consciousness was awake awareness, but after reasoning thoughts with my brother Will and others, we came to the evidence that an honest, relevant term would be present coherency, more than awake awareness. I didn't really like awake awareness, but I think it's present coherency, which is be cognizant of your thoughts, of your behaviors, be mindful of others, be present during your journey, serenely coherent of the present, in tune with coincidence plus your inner guidance, and the power of genuine love. So I think all this is very important. I want to hear you on this, but diligency, being diligent. You like
Well,
you like the
when I
word?
look on the word diligency in all the other things that you're talking about, I will use the word virtuous.
Virtuous, the drive for virtuosity. Could be a good one
Yes,
too. I'll write that down.
yes, virtuous.
Yeah.
Because is you're dealing with the moral value of your spirituality, the moral values of your spirituality. Because when you're dealing with spirituality, you're dealing with the truth. You're not dealing with some people think or some people have you to be. You're dealing with the truth. So virtuous is the spiritual levity in which the way you treat people or you interact with other people. And so because we lack the spiritual levity, we lack that moral values within ourselves, because we live in a world where virtuous and moral values, the behavior of our being is not to the highest degree that we should be living. We are living low as the animals, because most of what mankind have in their head is what the people them rule is habit of other animals. We should live above the animal instinct or the animal mentality in us. That's why we come here. That's why we are on the planet Earth, is to evolve ourselves and to uplift ourselves, above the animal instinct. Animal deal with instinct. We should deal with virtuous and moral code of divinity within our liberty and how we express ourselves to each other. Those are the code that we should go in by. But what has happened? People have been educated that everybody born in sin and shaping in the iniquity of Babylon. So you must accept that. No, we don't born in sin and shaping in the iniquity of Babylon, because the iniquity, that's why I call it the swamp. The iniquity, I call it the swamp of Babylon. No, we should educate ourselves, evaporate from the swamp, rise up to the higher heights. That's why I say, if you sit down at night and look up, we always mentally look up, not down. Because when you mentally look up, you are re-educating yourself to be a virtuous person, to live a moral liberty, self-respect with yourself, dignity, or have dignity within yourself, to live up to your greatest expectation of a human being. with love and unity.
True. I have a list of by in the book somewhere, and I don't remember exactly which key, but there's a place where I exactly talk about that being virtuous, the 9 virtues of. I was calling them greatness, but I'm using another word now. It's the 9 virtues of magnificence. I prefer that over greatness because that's what we can be magnificent. And magni, I like the magnet you attract. So I prefer magnificence. And in there, I have honesty, responsibility, intelligence, willpower, vigilance, trunity. I like the word unity, but I transformed it into
Unity.
I'm using trunity, unity in truth, or
Okay.
unity in truth,
Yes, 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 yes.
which has become trunity.
That is powerful.
Yeah, and
That is powerful. Because
respect,
because to unite yourself,
yeah,
you have to unite it with truth. You have to live the truth.
yeah,
And
trunity,
and, and and the truth is very hard to live because you're born in the swamp where there is no truth.
exact.
It's pure lies and fabrication. People have to struggle in their mind. You watch it. A child born and then as the child can talk, the child taught to speak what don't exist because that's what she's taught. Because parents is telling not the truth, so the child adapt it. So you cannot blame the child either. You have to blame the parent
But
because it's the system that we were born and grew in the swamp, and everybody smell of the swamp.
often you see parents projecting the blame on the children because they don't want taking the blame for themselves. I see that often, all the time. Parents blaming children for their behavior when they don't even look at their own behavior. Like they blame their child for being on their devices and stuff. But what do you do all day? What your children see you do all day? And then you go blame them? Like,
Yeah,
nonsense. Pure nonsense.
because
So, yeah,
they deal with adaptation. They adapt what they see.
exact. Children will do what they see their parents doing for sure. So also respect, optimism, and being kind. Those are the 9 virtues of magnificence. Like if we want to reach
Then
our true magnificence as sentient beings here honored while
yes,
we're alive, yeah. And there's other qualities also that I put with that qualities of a sentient being, which is loyalty, security, willpower, power of scope, diligence. But diligence, we could virtuous. I like that. I like your virtuosity thing. Uh,
yes,
generosity, optimism, curiosity, cognitive flexibility,
yes,
proactivity, joyous genius. Like all this is qualities that we should put the scope on. I don't want to use the word focus. I could use,
Flexibility is important.
yeah.
You know
Oh,
why? You know why? You have some men that cannot cook, can't even cook. You understand? The wife or the lady friend I was to ever gone out and they are waiting for she to come home to cook because then lack flexibility. The house need to clean. And before you clean the house, you're waiting until your wife or your girlfriend to come home. You get up out of your bed, you don't want to spread it up because you haven't taught the flexibility. You believe it's a woman duty. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
But when
I,
you're equal partners in the home, you share the work, you share the load.
and if you see it as a burden, like just doing the dishes or making your bed or cleaning up the house, you're never going to do big things in life. Like, if you see that as a burden or as a chore, or me, I see that as I always seen, but not always, because today I spoke to my mother and she told me when I was 16, she used to put the clothes in front of my door room on the floor and I was walking over it. I'm like, don't tell me I was doing that today. I maybe because I grown up and I've had children myself and I see the pattern. And today, for sure, I don't see the chores in the house as being. I see that as, an experience to grow more and to be more coherent, like to be more surmount my common thoughts. Yeah.
Yes. Because you have to learn to dance a yard before you go abroad.
Because it's very common thoughts to think that cleaning the house is just for women. I think it should be everyone that live into the house that should cooperate for sure. Uh, Sparker number 2, surmount common thoughts. Often the thoughts we have are very common. Like everyone, the beings of the earth seem to think in their headspace that they are different than others. But if you haven't wake up and do deep work on yourself to eradicate that nonsense system of belief that Babylon have taught you in so many ways, religion or science or whatever it is that the system, you're stuck with common thoughts. So you think there's probably 100,000 just like you, thinking the same thing, doing the same thing each and every day, not realizing that life could be so much more vibrant than just being on the repeat on repeat. We repeat the work, we repeat the music we listen. Some beings listen to the same freaking playlist days after days after days. It's like evolving the music also and stuff. So anyway,
Because,
surmounting our common thoughts is very
yeah,
important.
yeah, yeah. It's because people get hip to the top 40.
Yeah.
Putting in people head say, every day we're going to play the top 40 and these are the more 40 important songs. But these are the 40 more garbage songs. Because we want to educate your youth to listen to garbage that they can. Most time when you're talking consciousness to people, oh, I just can't have time to listen to that. I just want something to make me relax. So I want to know if consciousness can make you relax. Huh?
Most beings don't want to be here. They have a deep desire to be somewhere else, like millions of years away or miles away from where they are. So if you don't want to be present where you are and in your life,
Yeah, yes. But you cannot run away from yourself.
exact. That is one thing we surely know. That's it. Surmount your common thoughts. We should aim for rising above occurrences to embrace higher vibes, stretching beyond mediocrity,
Oh
beyond
yeah.
a phenomenal new paradigm. Because mediocrity, I said it, I think, in the beginning of our reasoning and
Yes.
others before, it's to stop halfway in the mountain. It's to settle halfway in the mountain. You're going for a hike, you stop at the middle, don't go to the top. It's mediocre. So mediocrity, the word middle,
Yes, yes.
mediocrity. Crity is a rug mountain, so it's stopping at
Yeah.
the middle. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to be mediocre. It's enough. Beings of the earth, please listen. Boom. Yeah. So you want to have a phenomenal new paradigm. Yeah. So that's
Okay.
very important. Surmount your common thoughts. I'm not going to tell you what to do for that. I think every being know what to do when they start cognizing their thoughts on another level than the program level. So yeah. So Sparker number 3 also is very important. Midas, to perceive the magnificence. If you don't see, if you do not perceive the magnificence, like I use perceive instead of perceive
Well,
because the person see the magnificence. Yeah.
well, this is the word that come that I didn't want to say a long time. You have to pay your dues before you can dig the blues.
Oh,
You have to pay your dues before you can dig the blues.
yeah.
So one of the what? So listen, people that have children, male and female, mothers have to start educate girls how to unite with the male, and fathers have to educate boys how to educate how to unite with the female. Everything starts in the home. Is not everything you're going to get at school. Parents need to start to educate their children and some important aspect of life, how to relate to male and female, because they believe that teacher and the uni blind is going to do that for you. Yeah, you understand? The greatest education is what you get at home.
The uni blind. I'm taking note of that.
Yeah, they
You're
call
gonna
it
see
university. You're not seeing anything there.
uni blind. That's what. Yeah.
Yes. The
I'm
blind lead the blind.
I'm gonna use it in the book that words for.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So no, that's it. Like the magnificence. It's all about also perceiving the magnificence of your eternal breath. Once you take a breath, like every breath should be so conscious and savor and present, but we don't consciously breathe. Like how many beings can say that they are conscious of their? That's one thing you do on its own, like your blood flow. You're gonna breathe, and you don't realize it. You're breathing, and it's like your blood is running through your vein. You don't see it, you don't feel it, but it's running through your vein. So yeah, perceiving is very important to get the full magnificence of that eternal breath that we take each and every time we breathe. So yeah, so that's what I was telling you before. Empathy, being kind, joy of acquaintances, fortitude, intelligence, presence, coherency, productive, apt to opt, vigilance, optimism, eager, honesty, integrity, being swiftly keen to forgive all. These are the qualities that drives us forward to our true magnificence. You agree with me?
Yes. And you see the word forgiveness?
Yeah. That's why I said plus being swiftly keen to forgive all. Swiftly keen. Yeah. Oh, you're frozen? I think MIDI is frozen, but I'm not. I'm there. He should come back. It's the software. Sometimes it bugs a little bit. But yeah, being swiftly keen to forgive all. These are it. I'm going to keep going until he come back. An optimal way to gauge how much you have blossomed is perhaps how you have chosen to spend your time planting seeds plus caring for your sprouts. You plant seed, you have to care for the sprouts also. You don't just plant seed and not nurture it. So nurture the seed for sure, and consequently, whom's hearts you have uplifted. To me, that is one of the optimal ways to measure a chief mind. You want to have a chief mind. Midas, are you there? I can't hear you. No, you are frozen in time. They have froze you in time. But okay. Oh, large up, Karen. Yeah, yeah. I see your the chat now. I'm looking at the chat. Yes, very good. That's true magnificent. Yeah, yeah. We have to reach that true magnificence with, like I said, empathy, being kind, joy of acquaintances, fortitude, intelligence, presence, coherency. I just modified the word a little bit. Productive, apt to opt, vigilance, optimism, eager, honesty, integrity, plus being swiftly keen to forgive all. Forgiveness is so important. Forgiving yourself also for your nonsense. Like I say always here, forgive me for my nonsense that I speak, as I forgive others also for their nonsense that they speak, for they think they talk sense. So, yes, it's always about forgiveness. But forgiveness, I think it's about forgiving. It's about forgiveness. I don't want to use too much of that ness stuff because it's waiting for the net to return. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, here we
You
go.
there? Okay, perfect. No, that's good, Nana. I knew you were gonna
Bye
solve the.
bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yes, the lightning hit out.
Yeah, yeah. No, you have a storm, man, because it's getting darker in your room.
Yeah, because heavy rain is falling
Okay, the heavy rain is falling now.
and thunder is rolling.
Good. That's how we should be. We should be like thunder and sun. We should shine. I have a song that I listen to. It's from the late ones, the band, the late ones, and it's thunder and sun, and that's what the guy says. I shine like thunder and sun.
Okay.
So I always find it very appropriate. Yeah, but not appropriate. But anyway,
So let's
uh,
from
so
where we stop.
yeah, so we're gonna keep going. Maybe we'll finish with that one a bit. I'm not gonna keep you here until 7 o'clock tonight. But
Yeah.
key number 14: reach full presence to embody your power. You know, we have a lot of power inside. I think the biggest power is to love and to be loved and to nurture and that's the one we don't really scope put the big scope on our power of love. We want the we because we have come to love the power and not the power of love. So it's very again, it's a man thing, eh? It's a man thing, the power, the love of power. So again, power of
Yes,
love.
women deal with love and man deal with power and control.
There you go, there you go. And I really like what you said before about men and women. That was very good. It's gonna stay.
Mentality of a hunter.
It's gonna stay within me and that stuff for sure. I learn all the time here. So an effect that is stealing joy from the world's populace, poisoning the original intent of what was supposed to feel like an eternal journey of personal freedom, is an obvious haunting absence from the present time. I think that's the most thing. Too many have checked out of their bodies, plus their lives. They are not in tune to the energy floating, plus the hopeful occurrences, nor do they understand the response abilities. EAZE that I wrote it, abilities. It's to ease your existence. They have they have little no reverence for the gift around them, acting as they preferred to be somewhere else, mentally living in distant time zone, hours ahead or behind of the joy. Plus, the quintessence presence of the current vibes, lives unfelt, unlived, their spirit a world away. The majority of humanity lost in an abyss of non-coherency, stuck in the dark, absorbed by nonsense. They are not sleeping, but they are not fully present, coherent, or purposeful. What do you think about that?
Well, look into it. And it's not everyone is going to agree with us. But especially what I'm going to say, but we have to deal with reality. All of what you're reading in your essence of the book that you're telling about, right? All the problems started from the Bible. You understand? First thing, if you read about Adam and Eve, okay? You read where Adam is blaming Eve for the things that he have done. You see? You have an next part of the Bible describing woman as Jezebels. Right? You have
Yeah.
an next part, you have a next part of the Bible telling you that the most glorified man that God loved is a man who have 300 700 wife and how much concubines. See? So the mentality of religion has played this great part on human psyche that it let man feel like they have so many power. So when it comes to love, discipline, respect, acceptance, caring, 90% of the men of this world don't have it. They don't know what it is. I am not saying that I have all and I'm holding up my hand and say I am not like all other men. I am just working very hard and learning how to rebuild myself to be the being, the spiritual being that I supposed to be. And do not listen to the tales of Babylon into a Bible or books who is manufacturing people brain to be this dominant figure. Because everything come back to the male entity within mankind. He is the problem. He creates all the problem and he don't want to accept that he creates all the problem. He is the monster. in the swamp. And whosoever don't want to accept and respect the monster in the swamp is punishment for you. So we need to, we don't know what it was in the beginning because no one can tell about the beginning. But as far as human history and fairy tales and story and lies that we can read and come up to ourselves now, we know that something is wrong, and we have the knowledge and understanding and understanding within ourselves to know, say, it is time for us to transform ourselves from the mentality of Babylon swamp and rebuild ourselves as human being, not beings, being with spiritual consciousness, with love and sharing for each other, so we can let this world that we created, we can we can restart, and we can start all over again to build an environment where we can live in, where love rules. Love rules. And then we can learn to not talk about love, but live in love. Not to get into the sexual aspect, because that is mentality, animalistic way. That's why the other day I was saying to you, if you see a nice lady and she walk in and say, hi, may I have a word with you? Or can I have a word with you, please? The first thing she's thinking that you're coming for sex. And I am not wronging her to think that way, but this is what the system teach her. And that's what the system teach the male. That when you see somebody nice, go to her and tell her, oh, you're looking sexy. You can't tell her, say, well, then she's beautiful and you want to know more about her beauty from within. Not the beauty outside, but the beauty within. I want to know about your consciousness, your spirituality, what is beautiful within your psychology. Oh, we don't want to know about that because men have been taught to see her as a sexual instrument or a image. And for love to rule, we have to get out of that mentality. That's why the word name mentality. Use not,
Mentality.
yeah, use not a man, use a man. Use more than one. And you let the ego control your psyche, that you don't have any time for tenderness, you don't have any time for love, you don't have any time to listen to the opinion of your female partner. No, we can't do that.
Oh no, it's so much hate. Like you said, I have a feedback now on my voice. Maybe your volume is too high. Low down.
Yeah?
Don't worry. Oh, now it's good. It's good now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Like you were saying, I think we have let that system desensitize and corrupt our art to the point that, come on, we're not even ourselves acting from what we should be. Also, you were talking about the love and the hate, and me, I think the love has always been present. It's always here flowing. It's just in the word. Like I say often, we say we have to bring back the love. It's in the words. There's way too much hate in the words. And I think we are just propagate again the hate in there in the words. And I think to think, like you say at the beginning, I wasn't there. I don't know. But it's hard for me to adopt a belief or have a sense of certainty that at the beginning was the word. Like I look at the words we're using, and most are very negative and come from certainly man. Comes from men sitting at the table. I don't know how many 100 years ago, and they have decided to build something, some kind of grammar, because you don't need grammar to talk to another person. But yeah, that's what I think we are taught, just the program to be programmed pro at the grammar and not their grammar and the Babylonian stuff. So yeah, to say that at the beginning was the word, that's what they say in the Bible. Like what is that nonsense? At the beginning was the word. What word? What you think? Like I've never seen God here. Like I see it living and stuff, but I'm saying there's not a supreme being that ever showed up on earth. Like it's our responsibility to take care of this place. We're making a mess out of our responsibilities. Some are taking their responsibility, some not. Some don't give a shit. Some just don't care. Like it depends on your state of mind. But yeah, to say that the word was the beginning, I think at the beginning was probably the original man, born of love. But they don't want us to see ourselves as original. So the word, like it's always seems to be out of program. We have to perceive our reality out of programming, not out of the original quintessence, original man born of love, right? Oh, I think he's lost internet now again. But anyway, we're done. We're done with our reasoning pretty much. I think Midi is in a storm. He's in a mega thunderstorm. I got hit the other day, hit here pretty bad with the thunderstorm. Didn't lose power though. I was quite impressed at the thing. But yeah, if not, I thank you a lot, Midas. I don't know if you're going to come back and hang out, but we can end it there. There's no problem for that. So thanks a lot, Sweet Pea, Sweet Pea, Sweet Pea. So true. Oh, Sweet Pea says increased anxiety is in the air as well, and then everyone seems to be overflowing with sensitivity. So true. Some women are like Jezebel, the Bible warns men to avoid women who entrap with looks. Yeah. We must really religion ourselves to that belief with that guy. But beliefs, I'm always a bit careful with beliefs. Not that I don't want to. A belief is a sense of certainty. So I'm alive. I believe I'm alive. That's a sense of certainty for me. I'm here breathing. So yeah, I believe I'm alive. But I know I am alive. I prefer knowing and belief. Yeah. But anyway, I know what you guys are saying by I don't want to
Okay.
be like
Wait.
oh,
Can you
you're
hear?
there?
Wait.
Okay.
Yes.
You're back?
We're back. He's back. Bye bye.
He's back. Okay. No, that's what I was saying. Midas, Midas, I was like, okay, if he doesn't come back, it's okay anyway. But maybe we can salute each other properly now that you're there. And
Yeah.
thank you very much for coming here. I'm gonna let you go now because it's been like 2 hours, and I know you're
Okay.
having a mega thunderstorm where you are. So
Yeah.
we might be frozen again in time. So before
Yeah.
that happened, but it was very enriching to hang out again with you. Like I said, the hangout will finish in 15 days. Google is putting an end to it, but we'll find another way to.
Well, within the 15 days, let us make some time that we can finish up.
That's what I'm gonna talk.
I will make myself available. If it's even 3 days from now or whatsoever, yes, let
That's
us
what I'm
finish up.
gonna tell Nana. We're gonna maybe you're gonna see us, me and the rest of my this maybe 2-3 times in those 15 days, so we can finish our
Yeah,
reasoning. We're at key 14. There's 33. So
yeah,
and sometimes we go on the reasoning together. That like especially the man and woman thing today. I've learned something. But I come here with you to learn. I'm not me. I don't know too much, and I have to learn a lot of things. So from beings like you with experience and big bagage and of life experience, I can certainly learn a great deal. So I was saying before you come back, thanks a lot to Sweet Pea, Karen in the chat. Word written is also an image as the word was. God does. Love you, not believe. Yeah, I've learned so much. Thank you all. So thank you all, and that's it. The ones who watch live and the one who
well,
watch.
well, well, all I want to say, if the word was written and the word is God, then man is God then, right? Because man write it. So I would like to know if Josephus and Constantine and his 12 bishops who write this book named the Bible, I want to know if those people was gods. And
Again,
as far as I can see, none of those people is gods to me, because I don't believe so really God really go around and murder so much people and don't press so much people and displace so much people through the world. That's why I deal with the word the creator,
yeah,
which is more important to I. Because listen, I am dealing with the present world that I am living in. I am dealing with what I see. The past is history to I read a lot of history, and I know say in this time we have to deal with what we see. So I'm asking brothers and sisters, let us deal with ourselves in the present and rebuild ourselves in the present, because we see all the faults. So let us move together in love and unity and work together to help ourselves be the best we can. Be the best we can. And that's the only way we can be free. That's the only way we can be free, by respecting and loving each other. And moreover, let love rule. Let love be a way of life that we live. Let us live love. And if we live love, love will rule. Give thanks, Freeman, and give thanks to all the people them that tune in with us, brothers and sisters. I am not saying that you must accept what I am saying. We are just reasoning together. I'm glad that you join us. And you don't have to agree with everything we say, but look into yourself, brothers and sisters, and see if you can rebuild yourself and be the being you're supposed to be
that's
with
it. Rebuild.
spiritual consciousness.
Yeah.
Give thanks.
It's always about rebuilding ourselves. That's exactly the work we have to do. And that's it. Let the Trinity shine. Let the Trinity shine within your being and onto others. And for the younger generation also, because it's a real chaos what's going on with the younger generation with those phones and devices. Me, it hurts me every time I go in the stores or somewhere and I see everyone on. Like, there is something we can do, is be a shining hope, a shining beacon of light, and that's what I intend to do. Not that I don't play with my phone, but I don't play games and shit. I don't have, I have better things to do with my time than pass it on my phone. But I use it maybe to communicate with some beings, but it's
Yes, too
just
much
don't
at
make
one.
it the center of your existence. And the younger generation, it seems to be their whole life. So yeah, being a shining hope.
Yes,
That's it.
being a shining beacon.
Shining beacon of light and hope and love and all that is
Yes, yes, yes.
all
And
the good spirit stuff that has to be felt, all the good stuff to feel, and that's it. We will surely be forward again. We're not back.
yes,
We're
in a
not
very
saying
short time,
we'll be
because
forward again.
you just have they're notifying you,
Yeah,
noticing you. And as I told you, they know that what we are saying is truth and rights and fact. And they do not want people to tune into these things. They want fantasy to control your psyche so you can always be in the swamp.
yeah. Stay in the swamp, or yeah, the network of shared madness swamp.
Yeah, yeah.
So, large up, Rasmidas. Thanks a lot again,
Yes,
once
yes,
again, and everyone in the chat. Was a great pleasure, honor to be here again, and it's not the last one, that's for sure. So,
yes.
thank you
All
very
right.
much. We're
One
out.
love to all. One love to all.
It's all love. See
Yes.
ya.